just going to get us set up, make sure we're recording. And welcome, welcome, welcome. We'll just wait another moment and let people filter in that are coming on into the call. And open the chat. So we'll be using the chat function tonight if you're able to. If you're on your phone or tablet, Zoom is definitely a little more challenging. Hello, beautiful Becky. Yay. Yeah, feel free to pop in the chat and chat away. And there will be a few moments where I'll even ask if you want to pop in there, because we'll mostly make use of chat because we do have you know, a larger group tonight. Feel free to, you know, put your camera on. We can see each other. Ankita, I was so excited when I saw you register. I'll think of Sound of Music forever when I think of you. Oh my God. Oh, wonderful. Yeah, thanks. I know not everybody might want to pop off their camera. Some people are maybe in their jammies and practically tucked in, or you just feel quiet, but it's cool to see each other. So I love it. And it gives me kind of feedback if, you know, I see your beautiful faces. So as we get started tonight, it is 8:01 to honor our time. This takes about an hour is what I planned for. I think everyone's muted, but I heard somebody might have unmuted. So if you're unmuted, or I might ask to mute you, just so that we don't have background noise when we have so many people on the call. And hi, Jenny. Yay. It's so fun seeing you guys pop in. So yeah, while we get started tonight, I'm going to open us up with a few just centering practices and energy practices for support. And because we have a larger group, like I was sharing earlier, some of you might have just popped in. We're going to use the chat tonight. So if you're on your laptop, it's definitely easier to chat at the same time, but you can do it on your phone and tablet too. It's just a little different setup. So we're going to run this like starting out with some energy practices and then some sharing of energies of kind of what's happening now and giving ourselves some time to really connect to our heart, to our vision, to what we are creating in this moment. And we'll culminate with a ceremony and meditation that will be supportive for us and our beautiful planet, you know, because part of what I think is so important about these circles is that we're coming together and in our shared energy, we're not only supporting one another, we're also supporting our beautiful planet by coming together and holding this energy. So, you know, really the focus is to just really be in that space of nourishment and support and to be able to release, you know, things that might have been sticky or hanging around that we're just ready to say, okay, like, let's let go of this last week. It was a doozy of a week. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but go ahead and feel free to, yeah, throw a few words in the chat. Like, what's this last week been like for you? It's been fascinating. Oh, thank you, Off World. I like hair scarves. I am like kind of obsessed with scarves. It's my like therapy when I go thrifting is to go dig through the scarf boxes. You know, it just dresses everything up. Yeah, beautiful. And okay, cool. Oh, Becky sharing old patterns conflicting with the new me, ups and downs. Oh my gosh, like how many of you are going, yeah, that's kind of how it's been, right? There's the old stuff that's really ready to be let go or that we thought we were done with that is now saying, oh my gosh, like here I am, like time to deal with me, you know, and then the new me saying, yeah, I'm here, I want to come forward. And those ups and down moments, it can be very chaotic. It really can. I'm seeing a few sharing, Cindy, I was grieving. Yes, grieving energy has been big. And those, you know, some people in this group also follow Shri and Kira, and some people don't. But Shri and Kira earlier on the radio program were sharing about this grief energy. And boy, that hit me as a truth, right? That there's been a lot of grieving energy coming up right now, and just noticing it and being aware and being with it, right? Anxiety, grief bubbling up, highs and lows I'm seeing, like a thick mug or like fog. This week was not as intense for me as last week, but lots of episodes of grief popping up, grieving an old friend. Yeah. Whitney saying, hi everyone, I have no video. You don't have any video of me or for yourself, but you can hear me. I think everyone else can see me right now. So who knows? Technology is fun right now. Trust it, or sign in on a different device maybe, or sign out and sign back in. But yeah, like so much of what you guys are sharing is so common right now. A lot happening. Yeah. If you can't see yourself on the screen, it's possible your setup might be weird. You might have to like click on the view if you're on your computer in the top right corner, and you can change it to like presenter only or a gallery view, or scroll back and forth through the faces. Or if you're on a phone or tablet, you might have to like actually move the faces around. It's very interesting. Yeah, Jenny, I saw that you broke your toe. I saw you say something about that earlier. That's crazy. You got the message, huh? Interesting. Like, hopefully it doesn't always have to come to a broken toe, right? But that will get our attention. That will get our attention. Oh my gosh. Yeah, lots of physical stuff coming up. So we're definitely going to dive into a little more like that maybe can help us release some of that, what's been popping here, you know, and be able to just breathe through it, breathe through whatever is present. And these days are so crazy, you know, it's like, you know, my teacher, Sri and Kira, have been talking about November, December are one energy experience. And we are very much time surfing. We're very much creating energy and touching into future times and dates. And oh my gosh, and we have cycles that we're completing. It's crazy. We're doing a lot. We are working in multiple realms at once, whether or not, you know, we believe it or understand that, but we are doing it. You know, sometimes when you just space out and you don't know where you were, you know, like you were in some other dimension, you know, and you can have fun and start getting more conscious with that. But it is, yeah, really, really fascinating. And each day is this experience of really living in the moment, really being in the moment that we're in. You know, it could be 2 hours of like intense crying jag or something, right? And then 2 hours where you're like, I feel amazing. You know, it's the other day I said, wow, this is some bipolar energy. I mean, I went from, you know, bottom of the heap one day because I was triggered hard and everything came up, to just aces the next day and I couldn't even sleep. I was so excited and creating. I'm like, this is bananas. Thank God I know the context of what's happening to me. It's normal. It's so normal. So many people are processing things and grief and wow, processing through a friend's death, says Elizabeth. Wow. Yeah, and no fear, right? Beautiful that, you know, getting tested and that you're participating in events like this, because running our energy is our best defense, really, I think, and tapping into our consciousness. Oh, wow, just so much. Wow, dreams. This is crazy. It's helpful to see the context that like others are experiencing it too, right? It's like, okay, we're not alone. You're not totally crazy. This is very intense. So let's get started with a couple of those energy practices I mentioned at the beginning, starting with just hand to heart. Let's just bring our hand to heart. And if you can sit, if you're sitting with your spine straight, that would even help. So you can just really get a beautiful big breath. Fill your whole lung capacity if you can, all the way, blowing it out your like tummy, you know, feel your tummy pop out. So and just really notice. We're going to take several breaths here because I can just tell we all really need this moment to center, to be. And if you've created like a beautiful, nice little space for yourself, if you've brought your drink, if you've worn your comfy clothes or your ceremonial clothes or whatever feels right to you. Just notice the gratitude for yourself for taking this moment and time, and feel the gratitude of this whole circle, you know, whether or not we all know each other in the physical realm, we all know each other energetically, and we just feel the gratitude where each and every one of us are holding this beautiful space and intention for support, for nourishment, for upliftment, for remembrance. Another deep breath. I'm just releasing anything that's been held on to. And while you're connecting, we can start connecting with the Ave Sa breath. And if you don't know that, we'll run through it right now. And as you're connected to your heart, still keeping that hand on your heart, notice your heartbeat. Your heartbeat is constantly, right? It's the ba-boom, ba-boom that we've heard from the time we were in the womb. And with each heartbeat, it's as if it's saying the Ave Sa, the Ave, the hail to the divine empowerment, like Ave Maria, the hail to, the recognition. So when you're breathing in, you're feeling your heart and you just say it inwardly, Ave. When we exhale with sound, Sa. Breathing in, Ave. Exhaling, Sa. Breathing in, Ave. Sa. Sa, the divine empowerment within. Ave, hail to the divine empowerment within. It's a recognition. Anytime you ignite the Ave Sa breath, you are connecting yourself instantly to your portal of connectivity, to your wisdom, to that ascended heart, which is the root center of the 12-pointed ascended chakra system that opens up and explodes beyond your crown and far up into the divine light. That's where our intuition lies, our wisdom, our knowledge, our knowing, our remembrance. So every time you do this, you invite yourself into a deeper knowing. So anytime you're triggered, or you notice that you got pulled into the distraction of all the craziness going on, or the worries, or the fears, or the anxieties, if you come back to your heart and breathe, and if you bring in the Ave Sa breath, you will anchor in the knowing you are always safe and become more attuned to the frequencies of the 5th dimension, 7th, beyond. And from this space, we'll move into doing a beautiful container practice. And if this practice speaks to you, I can send you a PDF, you can email me, or you can check it out at shriandkira.com. It's a gift from Archangel Zadkiel to the world. It's such a powerful but fast, amazing practice. So if you don't know it, that's totally fine. We'll run through it now. Your left hand is your receiving hand. So your left hand, it's kind of hard because I'm seated, so you can't see my arm, but you're going to want to hold your arm out so that your palm is facing up, your left palm, but just somewhere comfortable. This one can be really good to do standing up, but again, sitting up straight, but it, you know, it's good anytime, anywhere. I do it in the car, I do it laying down, do it in the shower. It's good. It's a perfect practice. And, you know, it's like we're walking around in the day and our energy field's bumping up against stuff and it gets sticky, little sticky goos stick on us. Sometimes what we're feeling is not even ours. We're processing other people's stuff, but do we need to? I don't know. I would prefer to release it. So left hand is receiving, calling in light. And I like to close my eyes for a moment and just really feel that, you know, however that is for you, even if you feel like you have to pretend, what does it feel like? What does it look like? Everyone has their unique way of sensing, knowing, feeling, smelling, hearing. And just know that you are calling in beautiful white light into your left hand. Wow, there you go. Notice that. It's so cool doing it together because it just amplifies everything. I can feel it so much more strongly. So, and then our right hand becomes like the sticky catcher's mitt. That's what we are going to pull everything off our energy field with. So we start above the top of our crown chakra, we're hovering. We're going to pull the right hand all the way through our energy field above all of the major chakras until we get down to the root chakra. We pass through that, and then you'll be sending it off. Just imagine you're like throwing it off, and we're going to send it to the Tosa container, which is a beautiful container some of you have seen at Tosa Blue Mountain, where they every week in ceremony release this energy and transmute it back to light and source. So we're recycling. It's responsible energy release. And you can make your own container if you really get into it, and that's a fun thing to do too. But there's a container out there for you. So you can say to the Tosa container, you can just say to the container and just know it's going there. Okay, so left hand's out, we're calling in white light. Right hand up above our head. And if you declare this out loud, it will have more power. So if we're just going to do like a really neutral one to start with. Anybody's energies that are not for my highest good, I love you, thank you, all the way down through our chakras, down to the root, and sending it to the container with that right hand, just throwing it off to the container. And you might do a few passes. Anybody's energies that are not for my highest good, I love you, thank you. You might just notice even, you might get little sensations when you pass over certain chakras or areas of your body. Maybe it feels stickier in areas, maybe brighter. And don't even try to figure out or judge it. It's just fun to become aware of it. And when we are saying, the main point is that your words are saying, energies that aren't for my highest good, because you don't really want to release stuff that is for your highest good. And then loving it and blessing it makes it neutral, because all energy is neutral. We don't want to just like judge it. It'll just make it take longer to release. So we just say, I love you, thank you, however you served me. I love you, thank you, to the container, to the Tosa container. And just notice when you like kind of come back, how you're feeling after the heart connection and container. Do you notice your body feels any lighter or more expansive, or maybe your eyes in the room feels brighter? Sometimes people will say like, oh my gosh, you should turn the lights up the first time they learn this one. And doing it with intention can really bring rapid release. This is one that's really great to do after you've been like at a busy store, or you just feel like really sticky. If you can remember to do it. And I suggest all clients I work with when we're starting out, but it's like forever, really, the hand to heart and the container practice twice a day, like at a minimum, you'll have a huge shift in your consciousness. You'll have a huge shift in your energy field and support you just from adding that in. And then the last one I was really called to bring in for us to really anchor it all in is the living Ankh. And again, this one I really like to do standing, but I can't stand, honestly, that there's like a ceiling right above me here, so I'll bump my head. So you can stand if you would like right now, or try to really be spine straight again, feet flat on the floor. You want your feet hips distance apart, just like a natural distance apart. And you want the spine straight. And you want to really just, again, get into that center of your breath. If you need to bring your hand to your heart and take a breath and center, we're really going to run some energy now. Let your hands relaxed again at your sides. And you're going to bring your awareness to the bottoms of your feet. And again, I like to close my eyes because it really helps me tune in. And notice your feet. Start calling in a beautiful white light under your left foot. It's like a spinning lotus, or like you're wearing a sandal of white golden light, or it's a disc, whatever feels right to you. And just call this white light in and feel it enveloping your left foot. And then on your right foot, you're calling in golden light. Again, spinning under the foot or encasing the foot, this beautiful golden light. Breathe. Beautiful. feeling that white and gold light now spinning, spinning, spinning. You're drawing them in through the soles of your feet, drawing them up outside of your feet, drawing it up the legs, white and gold. White on the left, gold on the right. Feeling it coming up into the kneecaps. Breathing again, pulling it up the thighs. So, feeling that white and gold crossing at the base of the spine. So, and they cross there, and the white and gold are like rotor-rooting, spiraling, spinning through the root chakra. Beautiful. Breathing again, breathe them up into the sacral chakra. White and gold spinning in the sacral. Breathing them up into the solar plexus, white and gold, crossing again, rotor-rooting, spinning, rotating. Breathing that white and gold into the heart where they spin again, intersecting and weaving and dancing and spinning and balancing. Breathing that white and gold into the throat, spinning again where they intersect. Breathing them up into the third eye, spinning and intersecting again. Breathing them up into the crown, white and gold, spinning and rotating. So, and sending them off and around, and then your hands come out to your sides, palms up, and you're holding your arms out, stretched, straight. And this white and gold light, just feel yourself breathing, and it's expanding throughout your whole being. And you're sending it down your arms and out the palms of your hand, right out the center of the palms. There's big, beautiful chakras in the middles of your palms as well. White and gold, beautiful. And now just calling in an emerald green light right into the heart, feeling it entering the heart like a beautiful emerald ray of light. And this green swims with the gold and the white. Notice how they merge and dance together, and you send that green light down the arms and out the palms of the hands as well. When you feel ready, you bring those palms to your chest, around the area of the high heart, but both palms against your chest. And just breathe and receive. And notice. Maybe you even want to write down a few notes. Maybe you want to pop in the chat what your experience is of this feeling. Just be with it for a moment. So, yeah, I definitely feel lighter too. So yeah, welcome to the illuminated new moon. Every new moon this year is an illuminated presence and illuminated energy. And that means it's a little different than kind of like the traditional new moon we think of, because it's just carrying such an illuminated presence. So while it's still this beautiful void energy and creation energy, there's such an illumination of what's in balance and what's not in balance around these new moons. And that is key. It's like very harmonious energy, but it's also a time to really notice what might be out of that harmony. You know, it might be that moment where it's like, okay, it's shining for us to see. We're also entering Diwali, you know, Festival of Light. There's a lot of illumination energy. There's so much good energy while there's so much swimming around out there in the world at large, thank yourself for showing up today to give yourself a break from that and to really step into this nourishing space. Because this connection of all of us doing these practices together and all of us being here in this intention, it's really powerful. It's really amazing for me. So thank you for being here. This is really something that was near to my heart, was to start bringing these new moon ceremonies in. And when I did, it was like right at the same time Shri and Kira were looking for somebody to anchor at these new moon points, this balance energy. So it worked out really perfectly. And every month we review the perfect balance checklist. I don't have it to pull up tonight, but it's really simple. It's just being aware of these different layers of what's happening, because we have our physical being, we have our mental, we have our emotional being, we have our spiritual being. They're all connected. We have many, many aspects of ourselves, right? And when we feel something in one area, it's going to show up somewhere else. And usually by the time it's shown up in our body with physical symptoms or an illness or dis-ease or something like that, it's been present for a while, but we probably haven't been paying attention, right? It's a lot easier for us to stuff down the voice of our intuitive wisdom. It's easy to dismiss it. There's so many times, right, where we go into a situation and it worked out in a less than ideal way, and we go, I knew it, like I knew it, but I just ignored it. It's like I saw like 3 red flags and thought I would just be fine, but here I am, right? So it's like our body will finally say, hey, you can't really ignore me, right? It's like talking to us. And with all of this increased ascended energy on the planet, our physical being has to adjust. It really needs help and support. And I'm noticing this for myself personally. It's like, like upping that game of just like, how much am I going to let like the illusion of time tell me I can't like make a juice for myself, or whatever it is that my body really needs, and movement, yoga, stretching, just intuitive movement, whatever feels good, walking, something that helps release and move like the fear or grief or other energies through our body. Our body needs us to really move, drink our water, breathe, and taking it to like a real serious level now. Like, oh yeah, I did that like, this morning or this evening, but like I'm doing it, right? I'm doing it. And yeah, beautiful. Thanks, Beatrice, for sharing too. Beautiful night for putting your crystals out and watering your plants. Oh, I love it. Moon waters. Cindy, where can you find the checklist? If you do have the like calendar for 2020, it's in the beginning of the up level calendar. If you guys don't know, I'm talking about the up level calendar is available at shriandkira.com, and it has like all these significant dates of what's happening and energies of what's happening. It's an awesome tool, and the perfect balance checklist is in there. I also have a PDF of it. So if you don't have the calendar, can't find it, send me an email and I'll send it to you. But yeah, in that perfect balance checklist, so it begins with our body, checking in with our body. Is your body talking to you? Is there a pain? Is there a conversation it wants to have? Is it trying to get your attention? Now is that moment to say, okay, and even take this moment now, one hand to your heart, and notice where your other hand is guided. Maybe if you're not even feeling something in the moment, your other hand's like, oh, my right knee, or oh, my head, or my solar plexus, and where does that other hand want to go? And just begin, and anytime your body talks to you, this is so powerful too. One hand to heart, other hand to where it's talking. Right away, your nervous system is going to start relaxing, because the touch from our own self on ourself communicates that, reassurance, I'm safe. You think about people's automatic reaction when they're shocked, they bring like their hand to their heart, right? It's like, we know that it's an anchoring, grounding feeling to acknowledge the body that way. So that just begins that process. And then you bring your other hand intuitively to what's talking to me right now. And you start bringing, your heart, you can kind of just Notice, see, feel, sense what your heart's light might look like, feel like, and send it down the arm from the heart, across the shoulder, down the other arm, and to the hand that's connected with the other part of the body. And you're just sending a pulse of love. You might take a few beautiful breaths and connect. I'm right here. Tell your body, I'm here. I'm listening. I'm not going anywhere. The message you have for me is, and trust whatever comes forward. Trust what it tells you first. Don't start, if you start editing the response, then your ego got activated and the brain's coming in. You just breathe and recenter and listen again. What do you need? Maybe it needs water. Maybe it just needs some love. Maybe the inner child is speaking and needs some attention. And just notice. And to reverse, what's happening physically in our body, we have to really start anchoring, seeing ourselves having vitality, nourishment, switch the focus from like, I'm so tired or I don't feel good, to like, what's it feel like to have that vital energy? Calling that in. And then the next part of the perfect balance checklist is like, yeah, what's got your attention in your mind? Where are your thoughts? What are you thinking? Where are you creating from at that level? Is there a lot of thoughts of like, yeah, I have this dream or this thing I want to do, but I don't think I can do it. I'm not good enough. Who do I think I am to do it? I'm blah, 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 What are those thought loops that want to come in and try to stop you? It's just an example, but whatever it is, right? And again, we just listen to it and see ourselves receiving beautiful thoughts, beautiful communications. And then looking around at support. That's the next part of the perfect balance checklist. Is there support in my life or not? And if it's not there, this can be angelic support. This can be the people around us. This can be financial support, so many different ways that support shows up for us. But if it feels like it's not there, it's likely all the way rooted back in a physical issue. So you really want to come back to like loving the body, loving the mind, the emotions, whatever's present, being really aware to it, seeing the vitality, seeing yourself experiencing your best, most radiant life, and see the support coming in, So that's always a touchstone on these evenings that, I'm called to bring forward, is to like say, okay, where is it at? And awareness is the key. You don't always have to know what to do with it. It's just being aware and connecting that opens up that portal to our fifth dimensional compassion for ourselves. Need my tea. Yeah, so there's definitely a beautiful energy of, what are we co-creating? What are we dreaming on? What are we calling forward? Very much not just dreaming on it, but like, what are we going to do with it? It's time to like take action steps, even if you are shaking while you do it because your ego's so freaked out, but you do it anyways. We will carry the fear with us instead of letting it drive us, but say, hey, I hear you, but we're doing this anyways. What's an action step? Maybe, maybe it's about physical health or wellness. Maybe it's about, writing your book, whatever is really being asked of you, like saying, hey, I'm ready to be birthed. You have been gestating long enough, there's some action steps you need to take, right? It's like you need to be a participant and not just be sitting back. It's like, maybe it's reaching out to support another person. Maybe, what is it? It can be small things that are major things, but that we are making some kind of movement because we're really asked to be in aligned and passionate action versus being in that just kind of like couch surfing, spiritual couch surfing, you know, and to really anchor in that compassion and peace. And I wanted to share this today. Let's see if I, let's see if I can make it bigger. It's not the best print, but you're looking at, if you're on your phone, it might be a little small, but Pyramid of Spiritual Awakening. And this is an amazing model that came from Temple of Self-Ascension and Sri Ankura that so helps the brain understand what's going on here with this beautiful planet that we're on. So you'll see this is a pyramid, and it's like 4 big slices of cake. And the bottom layer is density consciousness. So, you know, if you're tuning in and you haven't heard some of this terminology, that's okay. But you know, I'll just try to explain it briefly. Density consciousness. Density is the energy of having a form, being on earth, 3-dimensional. Everything's energy, right? We know everything's energy, but our body moves so slowly, and the chair moves so slowly that things appear very solid, right? And that's also like our thoughts are very dense, emotions are very dense as well. They move more slowly. So very much 3rd-dimensional concepts, and we all are born into density consciousness. We all come in with the me focus. Think about little kids, right? It's all about me, and that's the ego's preoccupation. You know, it's like, it's all about me and how can I be safe? You know, fear, all these emotions dominate us at the level of density consciousness, that are anything that aren't peace, love, or joy. Fear, anger, sad, you know, loss. It's like, it's all coming in through that level, and we all have to swim through this, you know. And then the next layer you're seeing is the spiritual activism. This is the level that the most of the planet is at. That's why I even brought this in to share, to remind us that the majority of the planet is in spiritual activism right now. And that is the next step up from density consciousness, but it's still not in this ascension awareness energy. It's very connected to density consciousness still. It's an us focus. So it's great because it's not just about me, 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 me. It's like us, we're aligned, right? And you see this in all kinds of settings and groups, that there's like us versus you. It's a sense of righteousness. It's more an emotional joy than the state of joy. Just like, yay, like I didn't have a bill today, right? That's emotional joy. Or, oh, I got out of class early. Like that's emotional based, not a state of being. And most of the planet is in the spiritual activism, and it is the most dangerous phase of the spiritual pyramid, because you have group energy aligning around concepts, and that's why it's so frigging crazy, guys, right? It's so topsy-turvy. And you know, over here it's saying subconscious actions, you know, like things that we're, before we're conscious, you know, everyone here is conscious to a level and already in ascension awareness, or in, you know, like in the transition or above, you know. And each of these layers even has like layers within, you know, and we're not going to go too deep into that, but there's an entry point, there's a swimming in, and there's the exit kind of point, and that's where things can get dicey for people too. And we have to lift into the 5th dimension. We have to lift into an ascended conscious perspective in order to anchor ascension awareness. And then this wheel over here, the gratitude, receiving, giving, that's the wheel that keeps us lifting, you know. So we can find ourselves, once we've even anchored up here, triggered, diving back down into one of these layers. I bet everybody has felt themselves do a dip into, you know, some level here of spiritual activism or density consciousness. Sometimes we get stuck, you know. That's why we have great practices, and that's why they're called practices, because we get to keep practicing while we're here. You know, but gratitude, thank you. Thank you for this experience. Thank you for the challenge. Thank you. Even if I don't know what I'm saying, thank you for, guys. You know, there's times where I'm just like, I know there's a gift. I don't see it. I'm pissed, you know, like I will let it all out, but I know there's a gift. Thank you anyways. You know, even if we don't know what it is, and we can say that, we are anchoring and allowing ourselves to lift back up into ascension awareness. And that is where it is more of a all that is focus. There's a spiritual detachment, not feeling sucked into the dramas that are happening in the world. The dramas of the world, like, look, there's always got to be a victim, an abuser, a rescuer. It's breaking free of that cycle of victim consciousness. It is true spiritual joy. It is true peace. And that's what we are anchoring in. That's what we're doing here tonight. We're diving, or rising all the way up into ascension consciousness here, the divine presence and bliss that we are. So, remembering, it's like, and we have to hold each other, so it's so great to have these kinds of circles and ceremony and support, because we have to touch in, we have to know each other is there and reach out for one another if somebody is, saying, hey, I need a hand, right? It's really where our actions become aligned with our soul, and it's such a nourishing place. So remembering, it's like, yeah, the world at large is like down here going crazy. Where's your focus though? Do you want to be sucked in down there? It does not feel very good, right? We need to, well, it's perfect, there's no judgment of ourselves if we do go there. And if there's judgment of yourself, notice that. Being aware without judgment will support that lift back up. So yeah, that is a really powerful representation of what we are, living in and what we're doing here. And it's really valuable to remember the context that, yeah, it's, a lot it's not like we're in the norm yet, what we're doing here, but there's a lot of energy that's like trying to pull us out of this, right? And it's like, where is your focus going to be? Where do you want to end up showing up? It doesn't feel good. And if you notice you aren't feeling well, if you can bring into like, what was I doing just now? Who was I talking to? What was I engaging in? Oh, that's why my energy feels like that. A lot of times you'll start getting a picture. And again, it's like, it's just being curious and watching versus feeling like you're judging yourself. It's just saying, oh, interesting. Um, and we have to just absolutely love ourselves more than ever. Our consciousness matters, the ability to see beyond the limitations that the five senses and body provide, to say, okay, I'm not going to just be reactionary. I'm going to respond to the world from my presence and way of being. And if you have like no idea, and you're like, God, I really want to be able to live from there, but it's really hard, come back to those basic practices and practice. We really do need it, and no matter how far along we think we are on the journey, we need it, like, we can get cocky and then you're going to get probably slapped right back down so that you get humble again. It's fun. It's fun, and overall, really, we are creating, a world where like, it's supposed to be fun to be here. It's supposed to be fun. Let yourself have fun with it. So I'm going to do star consciousness activation for us. That's what I would love to do before we go into our closing ceremony and kind of like balancing journey tonight, because everyone's receiving a beautiful balancing tonight. But yeah, the star consciousness is so key all the time, but it's definitely an energy that is dominant right now, November and December, that is asking us to say, am I going to live from this star consciousness, or is it being bombarded and shut down? If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's fine. I'm going to walk us through star consciousness. So star consciousness is this point of light that's above your third eye, and it is an illumination, and we all have our unique calling card, and it helps us illuminate our being and be informed. But it's also like this big radiant beam that the universe can see and say, hey, they're turned on, like, give them some more support. Look at, there she is, we can see her, and other beings recognize it too. When you are radiating that star, you don't have to tell them, I'm radiating my star at you. They will feel it. whatever their level of consciousness. They might react in interesting ways. I've had situations that were like so diffused that would have been completely explosive just through radiating star presence. And it keeps you in that state of like higher consciousness and less reactive, whatever is happening around you. So a few practices to bring in to support this staying open, and we're going to unplug our cosmic meridians. If we have any gunk in there, we have cosmic meridians that run up and down through here, and the star is right in between, and it's all connected for sure. And some of you may have crystalline A tuner. Some of you may not have encountered one before, but this is quartz crystal. Sometimes my microphone picks it up, sometimes it does not. I hope that it does tonight, but you know, even when we get to the part, if you're not hearing it, just receive and know you're receiving the vibration. And when you like look at this A tuner, the way it lines up here, that's like right where the cosmic meridians are. And before we play with that, we're going to activate our star first. If you've never done this, this will be really, really fun for you. If you've done it before, it'll be fun for you too. So we're going to start touch releasing our middle finger and thumb and let them just kind of like bounce off of each other, not smashing them, bouncing, bounce, 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 bounce. And if it helps you to close your eyes, just feel the energy building between the thumb and middle finger. So awesome. And when you feel like you've got energy just building, and you feel good about it, bring one ignited middle finger to your heart and bring the other one to your third eye, right up there between the eyebrows, and breathe up from the heart, through the throat, through the third eye. Good. And now start bringing that finger up the forehead until it will naturally stop between your third eye and your hairline. If it doesn't, go up to your hairline, start moving back down. And right where it just wants to sit, you'll see it's like sticky. You start to just gently swirl or gently tap the star, and your other finger still connected to the heart, and you're breathing up through the star. Activating, activating. There you're going. I feel you all your beautiful stars. Then bringing your hands to your side and just feeling your connection to your star. Notice if you're getting any impressions, colors, sensations, feelings. This is your unique star. When we're ready, we can, you know, gaze at one another, or you can gaze into a mirror, or just gaze into your consciousness. Gently opening your eyes, soft, gazing through the star. It's like your eyes are the base of a pyramid and the top of your star is the top, and you're gazing through. And just as you gaze at one another or yourself, you gaze star to star, and just, I know you. I love you. I honor the divinity in you. You notice how that feels to receive and give at the same time. And if you practice that in the mirror, it will be one of the most powerful experiences of your life. You know, and notice if you're getting, you know, a number popping in. I'm hearing between like 9 and 15. Pick something between 9 and 15. And that is the amount of days to really be present with the star practice and look in the mirror. And the key is to be like, I know you, I love you, I see you, I honor the divinity in you. However you want those words to flow, but I'm honoring, loving, seeing, acknowledging, and get, you know, ignite your star, ignite your fingers again, gaze into your eyes. And once you've really established that with yourself and you start radiating that to others, you know, watch things shift. You know, it's like, instead of wanting to go into judgment of those that are like the trickiest for us, we're able to gaze with those eyes of compassion, right? Or the person that really could use that extra bit of love, and you radiate that them, they are feeling it. I mean, it's really profound and fun to go around and practice that, you know. And if you have kids, like, you know, practice it with them, or a partner, practice it with them, you know. Have fun with it, have fun with it, and notice what comes forward as you do that in the mirror. It's like definitely, like, hands down, one of the most powerful experiences you can give yourself in your connection, because you'll start morphing, even like you'll start noticing, you know, your physical form shifting off, or shifting how it might even look as you gaze through into your own being. Really, you know, what we're doing with all this work and practices is remembering who we really are. You know, we forgot who we were, we shoved it down, or we got traumatized and too scared to do it, or whatever. It's like, it's time that we're really, really remembering it. And the star is just so, so, so profound for helping us remember it. So before we go into the closing ceremony, the last little thing I want to do is, from the space of the star consciousness, you know, closing your eyes again and connecting with your star, whatever you need to do. If you need to tap again a little bit, breathe up. And I want you to just like gaze into the energy of your vision. Call forward what you see and believe can be true for your life, for the world. Call in a moment where you're living that perfect day, where everything is just lined up and going your way. Call in that energy of a world of compassion and love, and beings that are sharing in that harmony and that beautiful equal exchange. And what does the world get to look like when you get to radiate and be you and co-create with others what we're creating? Feel the power of that. Maybe you want to jot a few words down in your journal. Maybe you want to jot a few words down in the chat. What is the energy of that vision? If you could put like words to 3 qualities of what you're experiencing, what you are feeling. If we can really feel it and dial it up to like, I'm feeling this experience of what this feels like. We anchor it into our very tissues when we can do that. And we start just calling in all the steps. The universe fills in the blanks. So as we go into this final ceremony, I will end and just let the call end, because I do think that's really helpful. So you can just go ahead and be, if you still want to journey, or you want to journal, or do some of your own new moon fun ceremony, you can just drift off into that space. So as we come into this closing, you know, just inviting you to put down the papers and pens, get a drink of water or tea. I'm going to do the same. And just really call forward again that energy of the vision, what we're creating individually, collectively, calling in to this beautiful circle, each and every being that is here, that was called to be here now, and any beings that would be searching or seeking for this kind of connection. We welcome their energy here as well. Holding this beautiful divine light. Feeling our beautiful circle with your eyes closed, noticing that we're all floating on these beautiful like indigo lotuses, and we are gazing around the circle and smiling at one another. And in the center of the circle, we are just sending all of these beautiful visions that we're creating, and just seeing them like weave, like this beautiful matrix of our personal desires and dreams and visions of what's possible for us, our collective visions, and seeing how living our own personal vision and mission supports the whole. that by doing your work, you are supporting everyone else. And see and notice how, as you ignite, as each of us ignites, like beautiful torches of divine light that others can see and remember how they are this as well and what they are capable of. And as you model it, see this ripple and waves coming off and touching all of existence and creation with your inspired energy, with your radiant beingness. So, taking several cleansing breaths. And into that center now is a beautiful violet flame, calling in that beautiful Archangel Zadkiel, Saint Germain presence, releasing to that violet flame anything that is ready to be released, anything you are ready to let go of, sending that to the beautiful violet flame now. And you are noticing the bottoms of your feet growing warm with that beautiful violet flame, and you are drawing it into the soles of your feet, drawing it up your legs, feeling your whole being fill with this violet flame that is transmuting and releasing. Notice just coming out of your auric field, even just burning off any blobs, crud, goo, whatever energy is just ready to release out into this light. Wow, breathing it through the heart. I'm just like feeling such a connection through the upper heart and throat, breathing through there. And now breathing through the third eye and star, through the top of the crown. Whew. Beautiful. There you are. And noticing now, as your inner eyes roll up, they're gazing all the way up out of the top of the divine galactic blueprint, where there's this beautiful, brilliant ball of crystalline light. And that crystalline light is streaming down into the top of your crown, filling your being, down to your feet, down your hands, feeling all your cells, your blood, your tissue vibrating with this crystalline light. You breathe it in, breathing in crystalline light, breathing out crystalline light like a conduit, giving and receiving in perfect flow and harmony, knowing you don't need to hold on to anything. And you are noticing you have lifted each of us on our lotuses into the fifth dimensional compassion, and you are witnessing, gazing at your beautiful life of form and this beautiful planet. And it's like we're all holding this beautiful compassion like a grid around our beautiful planet, our life, ourselves, all of those beings, all of humanity, our beautiful planet herself, the plants, the animals, the elementals, the minerals, all of it vibrating in this crystalline energy. And you just see with compassion. Wow. And from the space of just kind of floating, it's like you're embracing the form while recognizing that you are not this form. You are connected to this essence of your presence and knowing. And you lift even higher, lifting, feeling the void, feeling the portal, that the moon is just pulling us up in and through, and you're popping into this beautiful seventh dimensional presence. This is crystalline light. And you're gazing down at that experience of that fifth dimensional compassion that is holding the third, but from this seventh dimension witness, feeling the non-judgment, the non-attachment, holding this energy over the whole planet, noticing and witnessing from the seventh dimension. There's no wrong way to experience this. Breathe. And lifting again into this dissolving ninth dimensional frequency, oneness, presence, is this strong witness energy, witnessing the seventh, that witnesses the fifth, that holds the third, and this all-seeing I am presence. Notice how beautiful Gaia is so far down below you, and the expansiveness of your nature and how large and huge you feel. Feel your connection to the cosmos, to the stars, to this nourishment that's streaming through you, and you're sending this through all the dimensions of your being and around our beautiful planet. And in this silent, beautiful space, notice that vision birthing. Notice the dreams that are happening. Notice the healing that is occurring. Knowing that all is in divine order. There cannot be any wrong. There cannot be any right. There's no judgment. It just is. And breathing and bringing this energy back into this body of form. Noticing you're coming back on this lotus, drifting back down through the dimensions, but you're still connected. But you're breathing into this beautiful body of form, feeling the gratitude and love, feeling a balancing unification, this beautiful Merkaba that is ignited around your body, six-pointed star, the unification of the masculine and feminine, this portal of energy. Allow yourself to continue to receive, relax, and be. Have a beautiful evening. Thank you for being here. Namaste and much love.